Welcome back to the lab. So I trashed the front bumper on that, but I'm fixing it again. So it's all good. Well, it's not all good, it's not finished right, but remember there was a big hole, a crack, fracture, right through here. I ruined it. It's not a perfect job, and it doesn't need to be. I don't want it to be. It's on the front of a race car, and if we go nuts with it and fix it super, super cool, chances are I'll just bash it into something and wreck it again. So obviously that's not carbon fibre that's gone on there. This is actually a carbon fibre bumper for the most part. There's a aluminium reinforcement there and a bit across here and stuff, but I have repaired it just with fiberglass cloth, same resin, because I didn't have any carbon fibre and I can't be bothered buying a square metre of it at $100 a square metre. So we've just patched it up and getting on with sorting that out, and that'll be good. Then we get the frame for that thing, which is the Locost 7, back from the powder coaters, and we'll put it all back together. There have been some things happening with that. Way over here we've done a concentric slave conversion on it. Well, I've done it. I say we, it's me. My wife just sends out the bills, right? So I've done a fancy bush that goes on the inside of this Howe concentric slave, and that bush, you can see it in there, very thin, but it does the job. That also holds the conical washers, shims, that are required to get the correct spacing. And then I've removed one of these bolts that holds the snout and replaced it with a very long one with a nut, and that's the stud that stops this rotating. So that's all good. That's going to work. It's all been set up, checked for clearances and all that. It's going to be mint. I've got some fittings somewhere. There they are right there, sitting in the seat, and some hose. So we'll do a breather that's going to come out through here, and we'll do the main in and out hose. It's going to go through there, and it's going to have a 90 onto there. It's going to be beautiful. Suddenly there's stuff and things missing, so the bumper's painted. Way over there somewhere, I'll show you later. It came out mint. Well, mint. It's good enough. If you watch the round from down in Taupo, you'll just seen this fan, which lives on this side of the radiator. This half on the other side. It fell off. The top of it came loose, and it sat back against stuff and things here, and no longer did what it was supposed to do. It did that because it had the cheap, nasty, one-way clippy type things that poke through the core rather than being bolted on like the other side is. So it's a 12-inch fan. The one that's in here that I can't see, but you can see now, that's 14. There's enough room for another 14. I kind of figured that while I'm mucking around, I might as well actually put a 14 on that side as well, for the difference in current draw and stuff, and there's negligible weight difference, and you just might as well do it. And so while I was might as welling, I upgraded from a, sorry, I don't know what this is, a long ding dong bing bong, I don't know, it doesn't even say, like it's it just says it's heavy duty. It doesn't tell you what the brand is. As far as I know, there's no label on it anywhere that says it's John Smith's radiator fans or anything like that. And so I upgraded to a much, much better one, which ironically they don't put anything on the outside of their box to say, not this one anyway, to say what this is. Heck, I can't even find, there it is. One of those. Doesn't even say. It's a Spal fan, S-P-A-L. Well, it's supposed to be. Unboxing, we did this in the shop. Hang on a second. There, see? Me no lie to you. So I've got to cut that plug off, put one of those plugs on there, Deutsch connector. And they don't come with any mounting feet, but there are these. So let's see if these line up with our cores. And bolt him up. Power it up, make sure it works properly. I'm sure it will do. That's why we get a good quality brand. It's actually really light. Should we weigh it? Oh, we should weigh it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Fire up the scales. There we go. I'm pretty sure this is heavier. It could be an optical illusion. No, it's got some feet on it that we won't have on the other one, so that's kind of cheating. 1988. Let's zero that actually, make it real easy for us. Hand's a bit shaky, isn't it? 1988. That's it, that's what that says there. Now it says minus 356. So give or take some error with the mount feet, and the pigtail might have been touching on the bench, the little pigtail there for the. So it's 300 grams lighter, a can of Coke, or maybe the car is heavier because, ignore the mess. When I painted this, of course, when I repaired it, there's some fiberglass, there's some resin, there's some primer, there's some filler, some paint. That is probably more than 300 grams heavier than what it was to start with. So the car's heavier, but it's going to go better. More coolering, coolerizing. I should put some things away. I had a phone call this morning. We get the chassis back for that tomorrow. Yeah. Box of cogs. Whatever. Oh, I was trying to think of a lot of different names for a gearbox, but anyway, there it is. It's attached to the motor. Motor's got a piece missing off top, which is why there's a towel on there to stop small children, dogs and stuff falling in there. And that piece is this piece here, which has got wrinkle coat paint on it. So I painted it yesterday, and it actually wasn't wrinkly enough for my liking, so I gave it another dose this morning, waiting for that to dry, and even that doesn't seem very wrinkly. I'm going to read the instructions one way or the other, I can't remember. If you apply heat to it, it makes it less wrinkly or more wrinkly. I'm not sure. I need to read the instructions and see. And everybody on Facebook's telling me, oh, if you sand off the top of the letters, it'll look heaps better. I learnt that like 30 something years ago, guys. Come on. Someone said put it in the milling machine, but seeing as this is a heap of crap, it's likely to break down partway through the job and ruin it, so I'm probably not going to do that. But anyway, aside from those things happening, clutch release bearings in there with a clutch bleeder. I'm going to put a thing on the thing so we can bleed it properly. Ta-da! Oh, you can't even see it because there's too much light coming from the other way. There you go, it's black. I'm going to walk past it really fast because it's not supposed to be a perfect job, because it is not a brand spanking new chassis, and it's not supposed to be. We're not pretending it is. It's got some character in it from its life. So, but it does actually look not too bad. The pieces we're going to see, they look absolutely fine for what we're trying to achieve with it. So yeah, stoked. It's good. Boss Powder Coating did a good job for us at a good price for what it is. So happy. There's there's some other bits and pieces, but basically it's time to start putting this together, figuring out the assembly order to make sure we can get it together, and then not realize, oh, we've got to take the engine out to put a clamp on to hold the brake line or something like that. So, sorry if the video's all a bit disjointed, disorderly, topsy-turvy, all that sort of carry on. That's the way I go sometimes. Have been doing some things. This one here, I did a little bit more on this. It was should we go to the whiteboard? Yeah, let's go to the whiteboard. In the front here, we'll get to the whiteboard soon. In the front here, the fuel tank on top, diff underneath, prop shaft coming out to this axle here. And the way that the fuel tank is built is it started with a flat bottom, right, and it's got a bit of a thing here at the top. It goes like this, a bit like that kind of And that was all good. And then we wanted to put fuel pumps inside the tank. So there's a panel up here. There's a holder and there's a couple of fuel pumps. And kind of something like that. That'll do. That's our fuel pumps, right? Obviously, it's hanging out the bottom of the tank. You got to have a certain distance from ear to ear to make the hoses and fittings and everything work. So there's a bit like this under here, like that. A sump, that's good. Prevents fuel surge and all that sort of carry on. The issue is the differential, which I'm trying to draw a differential. It's like this. It's behind this bit, right? And there's a flange, and then there's the transfer box and everything else that way. There's a output shaft here with bolts hanging out the side of it, a flange, 6-bolt flange. They're even reasonably well spaced. Not bad considering it's a scratch drawing. The distance from here, see, this drawing would actually collide, but in the real world it didn't. There you go, it's more like that. The distance from the outside diameter of the flange bolt things to the corner of the sump, it's just not enough. It was too close. Looking at this from the front view, let's say these were all the bolts are hanging out the side of the flange, and the sump on the fuel tank was kind of like that. I did have the corner of it tapered away. I just was not happy. There was probably 10-15 mils there. It was too close, but there's much more now. There's more like 20. Of course, if the shaft breaks and flails around the front of the car, it can hit the fuel tank, but that's actually a thing on production cars, and in general there's plenty of examples of if that goes bad, that could happen. So I'm not concerned about it now. Now there's enough room that, say, if a bearing started to go bad and the shaft flailed around a little bit, or the bolts managed to wriggle loose and the joint started to flog around, you'd feel it and know something was going wrong, and you'd stop before it tore a hole in the fuel tank. Set the whole thing on fire. So that's sorted. This one here, this isn't sorted. This is looking more like a car though. Look at that. See, it's good. It's good. We'll get there. Someone's put a cover on it. That thing way over there, the motor, the top of that motor, it's all blurry now, isn't it? That looks heaps better. Not with a towel on it. But it does. If I haven't shown you, I'll show you in the next video. It's crappy weather. It's Sunday morning. You guys will be bored and you'll want something to do. Hopefully you're not flooded. A lot of Auckland's flooded. That's bad. Or was. It's drying out. Hopefully none of my lovely viewers have been victims of that. Alright. Thanks for watching. See you next time.